Hi guys and gals, Froggy here. As I said in the title, I am going to show you today how Froggy goes about buying a used car, and we're going to get right into it. This is the Consumer Reports Buyer's Guide 2012, the most recent one. And what I do and what I suggest you do is get a hold of one of these. It might be available online also, but I think you need a subscription. And they have a section, or they have a lot of sections on buying cars. I like to look for the ratings of the newer cars, and let me see if I can get a close-up for this. Here's the ratings for a bunch of various Lexus cars. You want to look for the dots that are filled in with the horizontal lines that go across. Those are good dots. What you don't want to see are a bunch of black dots. Once you get it, you can get into the detail of how they work. That's a Kia Sedona and next to a Kia Sorento. So those black dots mean that Consumer Reports subscribers have turned in surveys that showed problems with those cars. Electrical systems, fuel systems, climate control, and various ones. And these dots show that nobody's having any trouble with their Lexus. They also have Consumer Reports best of the best and worst of the worst. This goes back to 2001 to 2010. And they list them model by model. So if you're not sure what kind of a car you want, get a hold of this and look at which cars have good ratings and which ones have bad ratings. Okay, so you picked out a car that you like, and now what do? Now we go to our computers. What I would suggest is using Autotrader.com, and there's another one called Cars.com, which I've also used successfully. And you do a search. You do a search on the make, model, year. Usually you'll have, from 02 to 05 or something like that. You'll use a variety of years to get more hits, and you find out what people are looking to sell out on for private party sales. This one came up. It's an 04 Lexus IS 300 for $13, and my son and I liked the car. It was about 100 miles away, so we called the seller. We got some additional information on it, if it had service records available, if he was the only owner, it was a one-owner car, which it was, and we emailed and talked on the phone with him and set up an appointment to go and look at the car. Before you go to look at the car, now you've got to do some other homework. What you want to do now is go to Kelley Blue Book or NADA, National Auto Dealers Association, and find out some book values on the car. You want to find out the trade-in value, what that seller could get for the car if he traded it in. This is the low value. And you also want to find out the retail private party sale value. Now, this is what he should expect to be able to sell the car for. And this is going to be lower than what a dealer would sell the car for, because when the dealer would sell that same car, he'd have at least a 30-day warranty on it, if not more. So he'd get more than the private party value. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to gather data, information, financial information on the car. This one, the private party sale value was about $12,500 to $12,000, and that is for very good to excellent. I was able to determine without even looking at the car. I'm assuming it's very good to excellent shape, which it was. And so a dealer would get $2,000 or $3,000 more than that. So that's the money that you're saving by buying it as a private party, buying it from a private party. Then you want to look at what he could get as a trade-in, and that's like the the most minimum sort of money that he could get in if he walked into CarMax. It would probably be even lower than this, or if he traded it in on a newer car, that's what he would expect to get. So now you're getting data, you're getting financial information on what you think you want to pay for the car, and you set your appointment to go and see the car, and you take it from there. Now when you go to look at the car, you want to bring a checklist with you, and you want to bring some items. This is a DMV checklist, a very good checklist, by the way. Good work, DMV. Bring a notebook, a pencil, paper, something you can write down notes on. Some paper towels so you can, open the hood, look at the oil, clean your hands afterwards. A small flashlight, a small bright flashlight. I've got a couple of flashlights that I usually bring. Those new LED flashlights are terrific. A magnet. I like to bring a mirror so that I can use the mirror to look at parts of the car that are not directly accessible by your direct eyesight. Bring your favorite CD to check the stereo, or an MP3 player, and this checklist, and an auto history report if you can. AutoTrader and Cars.com will sometimes give you a VIN number, and with the VIN number you can pay certain companies to do an auto history report. Now they may be good, they may not show everything. You can't rely 100% on like Carfax or whatever auto history report that you're looking at, but it'll give you more information. More information is better. Okay, this car, we had to drive about, maybe 80 miles to go and look at it. Before you get there, stop, use a restroom at McDonald's or Burger King, whatever, so that you're ready to go and look at the car, and you're not distracted by anything like having to go to the bathroom. Okay? You get there. Introduce yourself, be friendly. Try to develop a rapport, a relationship, break the ice with a little small talk, and then start looking at the car. What I like to do is walk around the car. I'll look at the tires. What you're trying to do here is you're not trying to make the car look terrible or anything, but you're trying to point out to the owner some of the defects or some of the things that he may not have taken into consideration just because he's owned the car for so long, but they're things that come to your attention. If you find a little ding, you might touch a little door ding. You don't even have to say anything like, oh, there's a ding in the door. You don't say something like that, but just touch it. When I was looking at this car, I noticed, let's see if I can find it here. Yeah, there's a little ding there. Now it's something that can be taken care of. In this case, the owner actually showed me some repair. He had a couple of fender benders with the car. He owned it. He was the only owner of the car, which is a big plus in my opinion. If you can find a car that's a one-owner car, you want to put that one at the top of your list rather than a car that's a 2 or 3 owner car. So he did share with me some repairs that had been done. He had the receipts. They looked like reputable shops. They detailed all the different repair materials that had been used. I'm gonna get down and look at the tires. I'm gonna say something to him if the tires are worn, which in this case they had maybe, they had been on the car for 3+ years, and they had maybe 5,000 or 6,000 miles left on them. So I said to him, well, now I'm going to have to put tires on this car. And he didn't say anything back, but what you're trying to do is work at some reasons why you're going to offer him less than he wants for the car. Okay? You understand that? Now I look around at the other tires. They were all matching tires. They were a matching set of tires, so that's a good thing. I came around and looked at the hood. Road rash is just little dings and dents you get from traveling too close to a gravel truck or whatever. So I didn't say anything on this, but I just touched it. You know, I kind of touched it, looked around the area. The car looked real good. So then I said, you know, can you show me the pink slip? Now, if he doesn't have the pink slip, that means a bank or a credit union is still on the title of the car. So you can't buy that car right there that day. You're going to have to pay off the loan at the bank or credit union. Now, in his case, he had the pink slip. That means he owns the car, because you don't get the pink slip unless you own the car. The bank holds the pink slip. And it was signed off by the bank that he had used to finance the car. So I took the pink slip. I've got it inside. I don't have it with me right now. And I take a look at the VIN number. I compare the VIN number on the car to the VIN number on the pink slip. You want to make sure you're buying the car that's represented, that's in front of you, is the same one on the pink slip. All right, just a little bit of being careful there. Back to the exterior of the car. You look at the wiper blades. Yeah, they look good. It's got a moon roof, so we're going to check that out when we look at the inside. So we've done an outside inspection of the car. The repairs that had been done, good paint match on the repairs. Could not notice any difference between original and old. Some people will remark or pay extra if it has all original paint. For myself, I'm not that fussy. If a repair job has been done correctly, usually it has a lifetime warranty. That's a lifetime warranty to the person who paid for the repair. But anyway, if it's an old Corvette or an old Mustang or something and it's got original paint, and it's that's a different story. Those are collector type cars or specialty type cars. But a car that's going to be a daily driver, I don't worry too much if it's been properly repaired. Okay, the next thing we move to is the inside. He gives you the keys now. You get inside the car, you look around, you look at this area here to see if it's been damaged by somebody getting in and out of the car. This one was almost perfect. I couldn't believe how nice the leather is on the car. This one actually has an extra leather option that was available on the car. He had the, let's open up the back here. The back seats should always look pretty good because most cars don't get a lot of use in the back seat unless it's a family with kids. So this back seat looked like brand new. I didn't spend a lot of time looking at that because I didn't feel I would find any problems there. I like the way the door is shut on this car. I hadn't noticed that before. Okay, so now we're going to pop the hood. We haven't even started the car yet, okay? We're going to open up the hood. Then we're going to start looking at the engine. Now here's where, you know, frankly, I know a lot about cars. I know a lot about the engines. Well, this one's got a strut here. There. I'm sure that was out of frame, but it doesn't have the hydraulic struts to hold the hood up. It has one that you reach up there and you stick it down in the fender area. Sorry about that. So you didn't get a picture of me doing that. I know a lot about engines. You may not. If you don't know a lot, I would try to bring somebody along who knows a little bit more than you do about engines and the rest of the car, the transmission, the brakes, everything. But what you want to look for here is any obvious leaks. You want to look to see if there's been something other than factory original equipment, wiring, if somebody's added a turbocharger or a supercharger that wasn't there originally, you want to look for modifications. If the car has modifications, well, you might not want to buy that car. You might if you love those modifications and there's something you were going to do yourself anyway, because then you'll get the modifications for less than what the owner paid for them when he put them on. But myself, I like cars that have not been modified. They're close to as original as possible. So I looked at the engine. It looked pretty good. I noted that the timing belt had been replaced on this car. Actually, it was replaced at 70,000 miles, and I don't think it was due till about 90,000 miles. So what does that mean? Well, that's pretty good. This guy is ahead of the curve as far as doing required maintenance. He also told me that the water pump had been replaced, which again is something that he did a little bit ahead of schedule. The dealership probably recommended that to him, and he said okay. So it's good with me. I was happy with that. Now you're going to start the car up. Okay, we're going to start the car up. We look to see that all these lights, when you turn the ignition to the first click, they should light up. Everything should light up, and that's the car is checking all these systems to make sure that they work. And then when you go to start it up, it starts up, and then most of the lights will go out. The seat belt's still blinking because I didn't put the seat belt on yet. Doors are open because I didn't shut the door yet. The brake, the handbrake is on. You know, we can make that go off. So everything's good here. We check the mileage again. You know, we put our CD in and listen to the radio. Radio sounds good. We might go left speakers, right speakers, front and back, play with that a little bit. AC comes on. Everything looks good in here. We get out and we go back to the engine. Now we're listening to the engine. Your ears can tell you a lot. We're listening for any unusual noises, lifter ticking noises, squeaking from serpentine belt tensioners. This engine, listen to it, it's smooth. It's a straight six engine, which is a really nice engine. It's naturally balanced engine. Exhaust manifold here. The intakes are all on the right hand side. Intake manifold there. It sounds real good. So now we're getting ready to drive the car. We say we'd like to drive the car. Do you want to come with us? In this case, the guy let myself and my son drive the car because we had developed a good, not a friendship really, but he trusted us to take the car out. So we took the car out. I'm not going to drive it now. I'm just going to tell you what happened. We drove it for 5 or 10 miles maybe around this neighborhood. I would suggest going on the freeway. I didn't go on the freeway because there was an accident on the freeway that day, and I'd probably still, would have been there a long time, so I didn't go on the freeway. But the car seemed good. We cranked up the AC. We wanted to see if the AC blows nice and cold, which it did. Ran the car through the different shifting, automatic transmission shifting gears. Take it down to low gear. And see if it will hold it in low gear, put it in reverse somewhere, check out the reverse, see if there's any noises when you put it into reverse. A big clunking noise might mean there's trouble in the drivetrain. We didn't have any of that, so the car was really seeming pretty good. This car also has some button shifters on the steering wheel, so I tried those out. Most cars won't, but some of the sportier type cars will have those button shifters. Check your temperature to see if the car overheats. Very important. And this one just warmed up and stayed right in the middle where it's supposed to be. You want to open up the sunroof or moonroof and check and see that that's working properly. roll all the windows up and down all the way, make sure there's not any window motors broken or the regulators on the windows broken. If it has power seats or even if it has manual seats, check that the seats work, all the adjustments work on the seats. All the time you're driving it, you're checking the brakes and the steering to make sure they feel good. Now when you get back, you want to look for leaks, fluid leaks. You pull the car back to the owner's area and look underneath the car. I bring a mirror. I use a mirror to look underneath the car. And I want to look for oil leaks or coolant leaks or power steering fluid leaks. You're going to shut the car off and you're going to check the oil. Make sure the oil level is up to where it's supposed to be. You might also check the automatic transmission level. Automatic transmission is checked with the car running. The oil is checked with the car shut off. Now this is 99% of the time. There are a couple of exceptions. So now you're starting to get a feel for the car and any repairs that it might need. You want to try the alarm system, assuming it has an alarm system. Make sure that works. This one worked fine. Now we're starting to get close to the negotiation phase. I already know what he's asking for the car, right? Because that was in his advertising. So the first thing I do is I say, what's your bottom line? What's your lowest price that you would take on the car? And he might say my asking price. Usually that's not true. Usually somebody will take less than what they're asking. How much less? Well, it depends. It depends on how long he's been trying to sell the car. For one thing, if it's the first week he's listed the car for sale, he might not budge on his price at all. I also, when I buy and sell cars, well, when I buy cars, I pay cash. If you've got cash, you're a very serious buyer. If you've got to go and ask the bank or ask your wife or your husband or you're not really ready to buy the car, well, you can't negotiate that hard. So I told the seller, okay, I'm here with my son today. We're ready to buy the car. We have cash, and that's green folding cash. Then I would offer you, and I think I offered him 11, and he wanted 13, basically rounding off the numbers. So I offered him $2,000 less than what he was asking for it. And then I shut up. I didn't say anything, and I let him think. And he came back and he said, well, that's too low, that's too low, I've got to get more money than that for the car. So I said, well, do you have any room at all to negotiate on it? And he said, well, maybe a little. So I said, well, I'm ready to make the deal. I'm ready to shake your hand and sign the paperwork and take the car right now. And I said, what do you need to get for it? And he came down from 13 to 12.5, I think is what he came down to. He only came down $500. So I said, no, I don't know. That's a little high. I've got to put tires on it, and it's got some minor body work that needs to be done on it. And I pulled my son aside, and we walked back up the driveway a little bit, and we talked a little bit. Well, he loved the car. I told him, don't say that in front of the seller, but and he didn't. But he really wanted the car bad. It was the right color. It was the right options. Of course, it's loaded. It's a Lexus. It's loaded with options. So I said, okay, well, we'll go back and talk to him some more. I said, went back to the seller, and I said, well, I'm ready to buy it right now. How about, he was at 12.5, and I knew we really wanted the car, so I said, how about 12 cash right now? And he said, well, I got to call my wife. She wasn't there, so she got on the phone with him and told him to do whatever he wanted to do. So he came back, and I'm not talking much. I'm not saying a lot. Just waiting to see what he says. And I looked at him, and he looked at me, and I said, well, what do you say? 12 cash right now. And I stuck my hand out, and he grabbed my hand, and that was it. We did the deal. So that is how this car came to sit in my garage. Now you're going to see some more videos on this. I'll probably do a few things. I like to fix cars up and put a little customized touch in them to make it just make it personal. So that's how Froggy goes about buying a used car from a private party. Now if you go into a dealer, that's a whole different thing. A used car dealer is an expert at what he does. So it's a lot harder to negotiate with a used car dealer. You have to be really willing to walk away, make your final offer. Maybe you're willing to go, $500 or more than what your final offer is. But when you're buying from a dealer, you almost always have to walk away, and then they call you back. But if it's some distance away, you tell the dealer before you walk away, look, I'm not coming back because it took me an hour and a half to get here. So give me your best price right now. And that's a whole different video if you're trying to buy a car from a dealer. And if I buy one from a dealer, which I don't usually do, but if I do, I'll do a video on that too. So anyway, if this helps you out at all, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more from Froggy, subscribe to my channel. That's it for now. If something else pops into my head, I'll add it on the end here. But other than that, Froggy's out. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye. Oh, by the way, I was just looking at this, and DMV.org is actually nothing to do with the official government or state of California DMV department. So I wanted to point that out. Nevertheless, they got a really great checklist. So I would suggest go to their website and download the checklist.